It's the Don't Make It Weird podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Dinosaurus.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Don't Make It Weird podcast. This is episode 36, and I'm one of your co-hosts, Daniel Quigley, and 'tis the season, baby. We've made it all the way to 36, and after this, I have no idea what's in store for our podcast, because that's about as much experience as I have in life. I just know that we made another Christmas, and for all my Jewish friends out there, we'll be doing a traditional Jewish Christmas of having Chinese food and watching a movie. But someone who might be doing a more traditional Christmas is my co-host. I am joined, as always, by the boisterous, bookish beast who carols at the bells, Dinosaurus. What's up, Dino?
Hey. How are you, Daniel?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so good. You just look so festive. I see you've got a tree back there.
And do I have a tree, except it's missing my Harry Potter ornaments because I can't find them, so I only have friend ornaments on there.
Oh, yeah. I just assumed that it was because Harry Potter is the devil and we can't allow such sorcery in this establishment.
I'm literally wearing a Harry Potter shirt, so.
I mean, how did the cult feel about Harry Potter?
Not allowed at all. And
As devil, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
because
you know who's someone that probably is not anti-Harry Potter, Dina? We've got a very, very special guest tonight. We are joined by our guest this week is a dungeon master and self-proclaimed ponderer of pastries. He and his wife document a one-on-one D&D campaign on their podcast, The Bountiful Bards. His holiday-themed fantasy fiction novel, Seasons, Carol of the Bells, is available now on Amazon. Let's give a warm welcome to Kahner C. Calloway. What's up, man?
Sorry, waiting on the applause. Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, so good. I'm almost a little bit disappointed that you took the hat or the headphones out of the hat, because I really enjoyed when your head was massive.
I can't work. Just leave this right here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Prefer this right here.
I like that. That's a good look.
This? Okay.
It's like that kind of like Christmas emo look where you're covering one eye.
He's going through an emotional Christmas right now.
Yeah. I only like it because all of my cool friends don't like it anymore because pagans.
Exactly.
There we go. We're gonna have a very scene Christmas. So we're gonna just turn this all black and white, and we're just gonna talk about the dark hardness of our souls.
The ghosts are coming.
My old friend.
There we go. But you know who's gonna help us find that darkness, find that place within us? Audience, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been watching Cringey Copulations, so watch them, for goodness sake. You better watch our show. You better not cry. You better not buffalo. I'm telling you why. Producer Sean is coming to town.
Good choice. Dina hates it. I thought it was good.
Thank you.
I mean, it was better. It was better than was it 2 weeks ago or last week or whatever? Magic Baby one or whatever.
What, you didn't like B.O.B.?
That was literally one of the worst ones you have ever done.
What?
Easily.
Yes.
How is that the worst? Okay. I did an intro doing I've Got the Magic in Me by B.O.B. and, my boy River from Weezer, and you guys didn't like that?
No.
Is it because B.O.B. is a flat earther?
You literally got crickets on that one.
I didn't know he was that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's
Connor's like, oh,
insane.
shit.
Oh, no.
He's like, I need to go delete my whole B.O.B. collection.
My Spotify account, it was dedicated to him. I work out to that. Oh, no.
Well,
okay, wait.
It's like, yeah.
We need to discuss something with Connor.
Oh, no.
About his vocabulary.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Are we wanting him to discuss the flat earth?
No, his vocabulary, Daniel.
The flat earth. Can you spell flat earth for us, Connor?
This entire episode is now about the flat earth.
The flat earth. The PHLAETY. URTYH. The Y is silent.
Why is silent? Thank you.
Yeah.
No, what Dina's actually talking about, as long as I'm not going to keep trolling her, is that we've had an ongoing discussion on this show, and you, as a prince of vocabulary, Connor, are going to help us settle a pronunciation debate because you come from the capital of pronunciation in America, which is where, sir?
I'm from Alabama.
Roll Tide.
We are
baby.
very, very fluent in our speeches when
Roll
we
Tide.
go real
Roll Tide.
slow, and we have a drawl to the way we want to talk to people. Yeah.
So Connor is going to help us out to settle once and for all
Oh no.
the grand debate. Dina, can you show him the word?
Call
Please
my wife in
pronounce
here.
either of these spellings for me.
Okay. I would pronounce those Nina, but I usually say chimera.
Chimera. And what about the second one? Yeah. Sorry, Dina.
I can't read the second one. She dropped it. My memory doesn't last that long.
I'm so sorry about that. There we go. We got it back up
Possibly
for you.
Shamara?
Chimera.
yes!
That's so close to what she wanted.
That's
Oh my
close
god.
enough. That's close enough.
Yeah,
I'm taking
that's
it.
close enough.
I'm
All right,
taking
I get
it.
cookies.
It's just like your second cousin. Close enough.
Good
Roll
Lord.
Tide.
That's
Side
purple.
story.
Roll Tide. Sorry.
Now, remember, Connor? There's a girl named there, Jordan. She's pretty. That's your second cousin. Don't talk to her. 7th grade. I'll never forget it.
Oh my god, so you actually have a story.
Yeah, it was just, when you start your new school, Jordan is your second cousin. You'll meet her. She's in your age group. It's
For the
okay.
love of God. I love that you had to have the warning. That's incredible. So, guys, we have got a great episode for you because, like I said, we've got Connor on here. He is the author of Carol of the Bells. He is a co-host on the Bountiful Bards podcast, and he's got a very, very special story time for us. Connor, can you give the audience a little tickle, a little feather on the toes? You know, maybe an ice cube on the back of the neck. Can you just give him a little tease?
It's the wonderful story of how I met my editor. Is the story I want to tell.
Ooh, I like it. This sounds great. I
fancy.
mean, I'm still in search of my own editor. I've tried to send
You
Pokeballs out in the wild, but
Literally have an editor.
yeah. But after she read my book, I don't think she's going to want to edit anything by me again.
Who is Ashley? Your literal editor.
Yeah, but now that she's read my story, you think the next time I send her a story, she's going to be like, no, dude, she's ghosting me. I'm telling
Yes,
you,
you
she's just gonna
literally
ghost me.
already said this. She said submit again. Like, what?
I just assumed she was being nice.
He's
Oh
doing
my
the
God.
self-deprecating thing, Dina. Don't let it get to you.
We
I'm
all do it.
bothered because he just greenlights all of his decisions and then goes, nobody likes me.
Oh
I like you.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Every
Thank
time.
you. Yeah, you can't
Don't
collect him
encourage
too,
him.
Dina. Dina likes to collect all of our guests,
I
like
do.
Infinity Stones, and I've got no, I don't even have a guest. I just have a couple people on Twitter that allegedly say that they're like friends with me over
Allegedly.
Dina, but yeah, no.
Everyone
but,
knows
We're
the
gonna have
truth, so.
tryouts.
Auditions.
It's gonna be like what was that one movie with Ben Stiller where they were all superheroes,
That
but
was
like bad superheroes?
oh
Deadpool?
man, it was Mystery Men.
Yes,
He was
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Fury, the spleen.
yes.
The Raj,
spleen,
the Blue
the
Raja.
dude that threw the fork, yeah, or spoons. He threw spoons, right?
He threw all utensils. I'm
Yeah.
invisible. Can you see me? Yeah. No, Dad, I'm hanging with my friends. Are you talking to your bowling ball? Did you put your dad's hand in a bowling ball? No, the taxidermy did.
Yeah, no, this is how I'm going to have to do my fans is anyone that's on Team Daniel, we're going to have a Mystery Men style tryout. So
Dane Cook
Thank you,
actually
Connor.
tried out for the Mystery Men.
Oh
yeah, wasn't he like the waffler?
He was the waffler, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get too deep down the Mystery Men rabbit hole, producer Sean, I heard you have a little special game for us here.
I do. It's called This or That Holiday Edition. In
Where
this
are these
game,
children hiding?
no children actually watch this show. It's just, to hype us up a little bit.
Then what
yeah,
are
you
those?
shouldn't have children. Why are they?
In this game, I'm going to give you this or that prompts that are Christmas related. So it'll be choose this or that out of two similar things that you might have an opinion about. And then you guys get to choose and have a short discussion about it. All right. So, do we prefer Christmas Eve or Christmas morning?
For what?
Just in general, like the excitement, the fun of it, you know?
Christmas morning.
Why?
Because I don't do anything on Christmas Eve, and also because this one time that I gave my husband and I matching underwear, it was really funny because I woke him up by jumping on the bed like a little kid, and I pulled my pants down. I was like, "Look, we have matching underwear now," and then I threw them at him. So that's why.
So you're saying that
Excellent
Tim
Christmas
owns a thong
morning
now.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tim owns a thong now. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I would go Christmas Eve, I think. That's when the magic is at its strongest point, for children at least. Most parents and alcoholics too. It's where you can just really
Cheers.
get into
True.
the evening, and a lot of usually people go off by themselves, go to sleep, and you stand up by the fire. Wake up at 4 a.m. when you hear the kids moving because because reasons you should have been up early later to move things. I'm not going to say why. That's why I would go with. Plus, you can eat like so many cookies at that time.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If I was into the celebration of it, because again, I'm Jewish.
Don't be a party
I
pooper.
would think that Christmas Eve would be the one because that's when the anticipation's there, the excitement, the cookies, the eggnog, all of that. But I mean, for me, it's got to be Christmas Day because that's when I get my Chinese food, man. That's when I get the good stuff.
It's smiling at me.
All right. So, gingerbread or sugar cookies? Pick one.
Gingerbread.
Back it up, Connor.
Exhibit
Back
A
it up.
right here. Back it up. I mean, gingerbread is so specific. It really just, you only have gingerbread during Christmas. You can build houses out of it. You can build an economy out of it, architecture, an entire city infrastructure out of it. Especially when partnered with royal icing, you can make the cement that you need for it. An entire little ecosystem and village that will slowly rot away as time progresses. Sugar cookies are just... No. They like to put on different costumes throughout the year. Oh, look, I'm a jack-o'-lantern. Oh, look, I'm a Christmas tree. Oh, look, I'm a menorah. Oh,
That's
look, I'm
fair.
a flower. And you always taste the same. And you have no substance or consistency in your recipe. And you're a failure to society. Add some chocolate chips, please. That's my thoughts.
Ooh, he came in hot on that one. I'm in, Dina. Rebuttal.
I feel like he could do like 10 minutes on sugar cookies and why they're not that great.
Don't
Yeah.
get started. They're supremacists. I don't like them.
We don't support sugar cookie supremacy here.
I was gonna say gingerbread too because I like that they've got like a snap to them. Sugar cookies are just they're just overwhelmingly sweet. I don't like it because I don't like sweet things. My love language is yelling and just screaming, so that's not sugar cookies.
No, that's very fair. And listen, I thought this was going to be closer, but you make a great point because the sugar cookie has no allegiance. It has no loyalty.
No.
I mean, I hadn't thought about this before. My mind is blown.
They're
Sugar
fake
cookies
bitches.
is year-round, just dressing up however it wants to dress up.
Just put some
Man.
skins after skin.
It's the serial killer of cookies. It's just wearing your skin.
Pornilla wafers.
Oh, Lord.
Did you guys see this?
What's that?
Is that a new bottle topper?
Yeah.
Are you gonna break this again?
Is it
No.
It's the Grinch.
Is it the Grinch
No.
going down a chimney?
I don't
it's a
know. It's just
cactus?
got legs upside
Oh,
down.
it's stockings.
That is
It's
an
having a
eldritch
good time.
Oh, green stockings, yeah.
That is Cthulhu coming out of your bottle.
Diving head first into your bottle.
It's having a party, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
All right.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm in. Yeah.
After my bottle.
What do we
please.
think about snowmen versus snow angels?
Well,
What world is this in? Is this in Connor's world or is this in just like real life?
Let's just say
Connor's
in
got some fucked
general.
up snowmen.
Let's say in general, would you rather build a snowman or make a snow angel?
so, I'll wait to go.
Wait, hold on. Before we go on, Dina, snow is this thing that happens outside of Florida. where it gets really cold and
thank
ice
you.
falls from the sky.
I've seen snow before. I've built a snowman and snow angels, so you can fuck right off. Thank you.
Wait, snow's real?
Yeah,
Yes.
What the?
what is
Supposedly.
snow?
Snow. We call it snow down here.
Doll.
Snow.
We get snow, the whole damn city gonna shut down. We can't handle this. We can't deal with this. I got 2 inches out here on this road. I can't go to work right now. My little Honda Civic can only pull one wheel.
I'd love to make fun of you, but that is exactly what happens in Georgia. If we get any snow, it's just done.
Are you in Georgia?
Oh yeah.
Sean, where are you?
California.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're all in the South except for Sean.
And
Okay.
I actually was just in Alabama, and I was actually going to go to that book thing that you posted on Twitter or
Really?
whatever. I was really going to show up and like be really
I'd have
creepy.
freaked out.
Yeah,
I'd have
but I'm
Just
not
gonna
going to
stalk
be
you.
in that area.
I'm
so-
doing research for the podcast. Don't mind me.
Hello.
please take the book. Sean, I'm not going to be able to attend the podcast for reasons. Tap, 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 enter. Merry Christmas.
Where were we?
I love it.
So, snowman or snow angels?
Snowmen, because snow angels, you're getting snow all over your back and it's wet and gross. You have to immediately change after, unless you have like one of the wet-proof snowsuits too.
I'm going to go with snowmen in my world because they're creepier. When I see a snowman when I'm walking around with my dog in the morning, if I ever do that, I imagine I'm going to see just a random. It's like a weeping angel from Doctor Who. It's just there.
Don't talk about. Oh,
If you-
fuck.
If you take your eyes off of it, it may move closer. Since they're not native down here in my region, I don't know how I feel about them. At least with snow angels, it's like, okay, an angel died here. They cleaned up. We're good to go.
I literally bought reflective sunglasses that I refused to not wear for like 2 years after watching that Doctor Who episode, just so everybody knows.
Listen, I don't watch Doctor Who, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But
I don't either.
But I will say that while Snowmen gives you more of a creative outlet, I'm really lazy. So I feel like just for the ease and the convenience of what it takes to make a snow angel, I'm Team Snow Angel, man. Just throw down, wave your arms a little bit, giggle a little bit, get up and go get some hot coffee. Or chocolate. Chocolate, what did I say? Coffee.
Both. Mochas.
Peppermint hot
Little
chocolate.
peppermint in there. Oh, yeah.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of whiskey or rum. Anyways.
Schnapps.
All right. Would you rather go caroling or look at Christmas lights? Pick one of the two.
Oh, God. Oh, am I going first? Or
I mean, I can go
Ladies
first.
first.
make
Connor,
Connor
go first.
Let me go first?
Yeah.
I want to go look at Christmas lights because I can like be nosy without seeming to be nosy. Oh, what lovely little reindeer!
Oh
They
my
need to fix
God.
their freaking windows out here. These windows are awful. There, my house is better than theirs. That's the way I feel about it. If I go caroling, nobody gives out figgy pudding anymore. Nobody down here knows how to make figgy pudding, and I can't dress up like carolers are supposed to, or I'll burn up. Plus, I'm always afraid of that thing that happened in the Addams Family where they just dump the whole oil on top of them because we may have some bah humbugs around here. So I'm for looking at Christmas lights.
I have a new guest to
Go on, Dina. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You wanna add to that,
Dina's
Dina?
vibing
I'm,
right now. Yeah.
I'm going to do Christmas lights too because I went caroling way too much as a child and I got nothing in return for it. They don't give out hot chocolate like they say in the movies, nor the figgy pudding. I don't really remember what that is, and I look it up every year anyway, and it doesn't ever seem to be.
Yeah.
Don't
if
tell me,
carolers-
Sean.
If carolers show up at my door, I'm turning off my lights and pretending I'm not home.
I literally used to
Not
go
only do I
every
not have
year.
figgy pudding for them, I have nothing for them. They can go on to the next house.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
like awkwardly stands there and watches you while you're singing.
It's like
Some
Happy
peop-
Birthday.
Yeah. Some people
just
will
like
be
singing
really
Happy
weird
Birthday.
and bite you inside, and then like you don't know if you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going in. Yeah, let me go inside. Look at this.
that's
interior
exactly what I would
decoration.
do.
They have pastels. These are some basic motherfuckers in here.
How did that snowman
there's
get
a
in
safe
here?
there.
There's a snowman in the back. I'm out.
I mean, listen, God, I love the lights. The lights are really cool. Like, even especially during the pandemic, they started doing like the drive-through like light shows where you could like drive through like this like special music created one, and it's awesome. I would normally say light show, but well, I didn't know about it before the pandemic. Okay. Again, see, Jewish guy.
Shut the.
But I will say, my favorite thing to do is to carol outside of producer Sean's house. Usually at 2:00 in the morning.
I've asked you not to do that, and you do it out of season. Like you just show up in the spring, in the summer. I'm like, dude, it's not even Christmas. What are you doing?
I just have a song in my heart.
He carols Mbop every single time too. It's not even a Christmas song.
No.
It's all caroling to me, baby.
Okay, on top of the tree, do we go with an angel or a star topper?
Oh, Angel.
Back it up, Dina.
I was gonna say, okay, damn.
Why is angel superior?
Because I think it's really okay. This is really bad. I think it's really funny because it's just like a cone, and you just smash it down.
So you think it's funny because you're shoving the tip of the tree up an angel's ass? Is that what you're saying?
So wait. I mean, is this consent? Is this consent on the angel?
I think if you
No.
choose to be a tree topper, you're pretty much consenting to having a tree shoved up your ass.
Yeah.
I like your logic, Dina. That's incredible. I've never heard that before, and I'm about it.
I'm gonna go with the star on that one, only because the problem with the angel is that it is superior. You put it up there, and it's got its little hands together, and it's looking down with you, judging you constantly.
It's too superior, is what you're saying.
I haven't.
It's got a superiority complex about it.
I just wanted some rum in my eggnog.
Oh, I just please. That's all I wanted. A little bit of rest and relaxation. There is no rest and relaxation. Go forth and carry the word. Okay. Like Miranda, the angel's talking to me again. And she's like, "How did an angel get in my house?"
Angel's like, hey, go find the snowman. He's out back.
We're waiting for you, Connor.
See, now we've got your next book idea. We got it. We got book 3 ready.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be hit there.
The angelic snowman cult.
Oh god.
We're good at cults here.
Yes.
I would have to say star because my tree topper is actually the Death Star from Star Wars, and it lights up and plays music.
I'm gonna need a
I like
picture
how
of that later.
I like how you
producer
didn't
Sean,
answer
yeah.
any of these questions except for this one because it had to do with Star Wars.
Because I had a
You
good
said-
answer for it.
It was a great answer. Yeah.
I just now noticed the sweater that you're wearing. That is
Oh, yeah.
a beautiful sweater. Like,
This is
now
my,
you said Star Wars, and I was like, oh, those are
It's
not
my Hoth Christmas sweater.
albino camels.
Those are not camels.
Albino camels.
All right,
Bless.
let's do one more. Wait, Daniel, did you pick?
No, because
Angel or
I've
star?
literally never done a tree. Yeah, tree. I mean, yeah, star. Let's go star.
Fucking pretend and pick one.
You at least pretend to be Christmas.
I just want.
Do a star for the Star of David.
Done. Star David.
There you go.
Listen, in America, we celebrate Christmas.
And Christmas alone. I ain't got no time for any of those candle lighters.
Those are
Those
my-
candle lighters.
My wife also grew up Jewish, so she likes a menorah as well, and it's always we're always making jokes at each other. It's
No,
wonderful.
that's
So
incredible.
one
I'm
of them.
about it. I like
Just
it.
as long
I
as
like
you
it.
don't accidentally light the tree on fire because you get
Oh no,
confused.
it's separate.
Just
We
me.
have to have a live tree, and it's in there right now, dying in my living room.
Yeah, no. See, what you
I
do
hate
is you
live
get
trees.
8 Christmas trees. 8 Christmas trees. You light one each day, and then the last day is Christmas. Yeah.
This burned a lot quicker than I
Where
thought.
are you putting all those trees? In your front yard? That
My
might be
favorite
best.
thing
Especially in the
is,
South.
For New Year's, we have a Christmas tree burning party, and like people will literally bring furniture after we light the trees on fire. It is my absolute favorite thing.
I'm gonna do that.
What the
Sounds
fuck,
fun.
Florida?
Is it like a bonfire when your tree's dead and dried out? You throw it out?
Yeah, it's a tree burning party. Everybody brings their tree. Last year we had like 30 trees. People just bought trees to buy them, like would buy extra just to let them die in the yard so that they could go to this party. And then
That
they
poor
will
tree
bring
population.
furniture.
Lloyd would not be happy.
They go buy the
I was gonna
ones,
say, Lloyd-
the half
Lloyd
dead
is in
trees from the
shambles.
Christmas tree lot that no one wants to buy anyway.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of trees, though, I think we know the answer to this question for Dina, but for the rest of you, real tree versus fake tree.
Fuck your life tree.
Oh,
Oh, you go with the fake tree.
Yeah, I do.
Burn,
It's
do
live
you
tree
burn
for
a
burning.
fake tree every year?
No, I don't ever bring.
Don't
I bring
breathe in the
furniture. I
fumes.
don't bring. I bring furniture. I don't bring the live tree. I don't like live trees. I don't like watching things die, so it makes me sad.
So you don't like
on that
like a bouquet of flowers either, then?
No, don't ever get me flowers. It makes me angry.
Well,
you had to go
Go
ahead
ahead,
and
Connor.
cancel that order then.
cancel
Kinda what?
order. Hold on. Boop, beep, boop, boop. I actually grew up with a fake Christmas tree my entire life. I never liked the unboxing and the fluffing and the turning and everything. But I didn't want to ever get a live tree for the exact same reason. I don't want to go cut down a tree just to have it come in my house and slowly rot. So to overcome that, my wife loves to have a live Christmas tree. So my wife gets a live Christmas tree. So we go and buy one pre-cut. So I'm like, I'm sorry you're dying. Kind of like going and getting an old dog from
Do you feed it water?
society. You know, it's not got much longer, but you're going to give it a good home until
Give it
it's
a good
over.
home.
That's
Make it
gonna be
comfortable.
my-
Make
that's
it
my
comfortable.
mindset. It's like, it's okay. I know. I know
It's like
not
hospice
easy.
for Christmas trees.
My house is hospice for Christmas tree. We'll water you. It's almost fine. And then we'll chuck you in the fire.
Oh my god.
Dina's face. Oh my god.
The hospice for Christmas trees. Holy
Oh, that's a good tweet.
That's the episode title, guys. The
There
one
it
with
is.
hospice
That's
for
the
Christmas
weird-
trees.
Oh,
Dina is so. Look at Dina. She's just distraught right now.
Oh my god! Oh, what the fuck? Okay,
Fine,
okay.
All right.
It's hospice for Christmas tree.
I'm gonna need a minute on that. Oh my god.
I might take off my head, but don't make fun of my baldness. It keeps going. It doesn't stop.
You look good, bald. Just take it off. That's
Look at
okay.
you,
That
you
sounded
jingle
highly
bell.
inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
You look good. Just
Sorry.
take it off.
Yeah, just
Take
take it
it
off. Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm collecting another guest.
Yeah, you stop
Okay, go look
seducing
me
our
up.
guest, Dina. Damn it.
What do
Look
you
me up
have in
on
that
OnlyFans.
coffee mug, Dina? Is that wine?
Yeah.
It's not too much schnapps this time?
No, it is not too much stops. I'll never
So,
do that
so
again.
speaking of, I've got one because I thought about this. I'm gonna do my own impromptu this or that.
Okay.
All right. In the eggnog, guys, whiskey or rum
Coquito.
or schnapps. I'll give you whiskey, rum, schnapps.
I don't know the answer to that one. Probably rum, but my wife usually makes it. But when she makes it, the paint on the ceiling starts coming off. So I don't know what she puts in that. She's like, "Here's eggnog," and I was like, "This is gasoline. What the hell do you mean this is eggnog? I can't drink this. I don't drink a lot. What are you doing right now?"
It's eggnog and moonshine.
Yeah, I think. So
She brews it in your bathtub. You're like, what are you doing in there, honey?
Welcome to
Just making
Alabama.
the eggnog. Merry Christmas.
So I'm not going to decide on that one yet. I'm going to try both probably this year and see which one's better for me.
Smart. Very smart.
I don't drink eggnog because it creeps me out, but I do have coquito, and I'm pretty sure that's rum.
Why don't you drink eggnog? And what is this other made up word you just said?
It's like
For the class.
like a Spanish holiday drink, like Puerto Ricans make it. It's really good. It's got rum in it. It might have eggnog in it too, but I don't like saying eggnog, so it creeps me out. The fact that I'm drinking egg, I don't
Listen,
like that.
eggnog is basically elf cum, okay? Nobody likes it at the end of the day. Might as well pour it down your own back and slap yourself on the ass. That's a Dave Attell
like-
joke, by the way.
like
Now we know what the elves
backsliding.
have been doing at the north. There's backsliding.
Where do they make
Someone
their adhesive?
who-
Don't ask.
The joke is like, whoever came up with eggnog was like, I kind of feel like having pancakes, but I also want to get super drunk.
I mean, listen, I'm just thinking about Slay and what he does the rest of the year in the North Pole. Like, is he just making eggnog for everyone else, Connor?
Slee?
Slee.
Yeah, that's what he's doing all the time. He's crafty.
So guys, now that we had a great game segment and we were all traumatized by the life of Christmas trees and snowmen, it is time for very, very special story time. He pitches his new sitcom for us, How I Met My Editor. Connor.
It's story time with Connor.
So, it all started when I was graduating from college, and I see this individual walk in from across the room, and I think to myself, oh yes, I think I would like to reach out and see who this is, but naturally that would be weird. So I overheard her speaking to other individuals. Oh, I'm on social media now. Look me up at my name. So click, click, click. I add. Later, small talk is provided between the two of us, just kind of introductions. Comes to find out that she has a individual she started dating. So I waited probably about a year, almost a year and a half, checking on her Facebook every now and then because I was just biding my time until eventually they broke up. So I said in about 3 months, she knows this whole story. So in about 3 months, I'll say hello, how's it going, and ask her out on a date. 3 months come around, I write up a nice little hello, how are you doing? And I send it over to her and we go out on a date. Comes to find out that we're discussing with one another, and just so happens she has a master's in English. And I was like, just so happens I've wrote a book. I would certainly love for you to edit my work. And she says, sure.
So hold on. So you basically, like, that's your pickup line. It's just like, hey, baby,
I wrote a book.
You look like you know how to, you look like you know where a comma goes.
Oh yeah, she definitely knows where a comma goes because I don't. That's the main problem. If you ever look at the edits, that's the problem. That might be.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So, anyways,
The buzzer means you drink. Connor.
Oh, I got a drink. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I have her come to look at my book, and she says I can read really fast. I was like, no, you can't. You can't. So she sits there and she takes my book, which is about 170,000 words, and she's like,
It's a thick boy.
and the pages turn.
That's a big boy.
5 seconds later, the page is turned again, and she does this for 5 hours. She reads this whole thing in 5 hours.
Like, just in front of you.
It's just in front of me.
Like, I just
in front of me.
Yeah, like, I just picture her like you're like
your book right now,
My
like
book-
the Christmas.
my book.
This thick boy?
This one, she read it in about 5 hours, and then had an in-depth conversation with me about
It
this.
took
book.
us like
And
a
I
month.
said, yeah, that's what it took.
Yeah.
It took me 5 years, and
so like I just picture you guys like sitting on the couch. You're like, hey, would you like some tea? Shut up.
shut up. I'm reading. That's what happens. She has a CPU in her brain that scans as she goes down. So I devised a plan because editors are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Looking back, she told me you owe me about $30,000 for this book that I haven't paid. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I will marry you instead. Take out a high interest loan that I can never pay off, and I will just bring food home, and that'll be it. And she squints at me and goes, "We'll see." We lived together.
I love it.
We lived together in a laundry room for about a year, and then after that, we ended up getting married.
That is romantic. I mean, so that's what I've been doing wrong. Like how do you think Ashley's going to feel about polygamy? Like, can she be like just so I can keep her as my editor?
Poly.
Yeah, she's pro poly.
Yeah.
Pro poly. You're right. She has said she's pro poly. Yeah. I mean, Connor, I don't know you well enough, but maybe we can be brother husbands, bud. Like, I mean, I need an editor.
She'd eat you alive.
Yeah, just like you said, Connor, he has his grammar skills are non-existent.
That's
yeah,
okay.
non-existent. Yeah,
It'll be you and I that are married, just so you know. we are the brother wives, if you understand. The brother
That's what I'm
husbands,
saying.
excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Awesome.
are you okay with being the big spoon?
I'm okay with big spoon, little spoon, the knife, the fork. We could be the little ladle. I don't care.
He's gonna cup it.
That's fine.
She said,
ladle.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So now I owe her about $50,000 if y'all want to keep count.
So here,
I wrote 2 other books, and she I owe her about that much.
I love it. Like, so is that just like what it's like in the household? She's like, hey, can I get you to take out the trash? And you're like, No, I don't want to. Okay, well, you owe me $50,000, so just
Yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead and
Yes, baby.
Here's your invoice.
Yep, here it is. She's done that too. She
So-
says, "Here's your invoice." It's somewhere. I don't know where it is.
So here's the thing, though. Like something that we did notice, Daniel and I both noticed, was it definitely looked like it was professionally edited because we read a lot, and we
Yeah.
read a lot of indie and self pub, and it is always telling. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's always telling when you have a professional editor working on your manuscript. And that was the first thing that I messaged Daniel. I was like,
Yeah, she
He
literally said,
definitely hired
I'm
somebody.
not. He goes, yeah. She goes, I haven't found a typo or grammar mistake yet. I was like, oh shit.
We actually went through 17 drafts with the first book. It was that bad. It went from Picasso to whatever it is now, however you see it. But it was definitely like she was like, "This is all. I don't understand what you're doing here." And then there's some phrases she deleted that, like, "Step alone the Grim Reaper scythe." That's the phrase I had my main character say. She took that out.
Oh,
It'll come up later. So yeah, I'm really thankful for it. The second book. It only was 4 drafts because we knew what we were doing at that point.
you came in strong on this one.
Yes.
Listen, man, we were just doing this, and that's been like
Oh.
our theme from a last episode. Like, I found an early draft of something I wrote from 2005.
Mhm.
Dina, we're still trying to unlock her secret steamy romance that we haven't found the password for yet. But
yeah, I wrote like a wannabe 50 Shades when I was like 10. So
Okay.
Uh,
What's your mother's maiden name? Just asking.
I honest to God, I thought that the password was like "I love Jesus" or some shit.
oh,
Is
she
that-
grew up in a
It's-
cult.
I
She grew up
can't
in a
Sorry,
cult.
spell,
Jesus.
I can't spell Jesus.
It's
G?
GEEZUS.
Yes, yes.
Number-
But
Oh.
also, Connor, can you please hold up your left hand for me? Okay, so you buffaloed at the beginning of your story. I just wanted to let you finish your story before
That's
you
okay.
consented to buffalo, right?
No,
I just have a switch
Yeah.
left.
you.
Yeah.
And he
yeah,
double-
he did consent. But
No!
listen, Dina,
What?
Yeah.
you call it out when it happens.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
have to
interrupt
interrupt.
somebody's story.
You have-
Absolutely
interrupt.
interrupt their story.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
feel so bad.
Now I'm all out of drink.
That's how Buffalo goes. Do you need to go get another drink?
Nope, I'll just swig from the bottle.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
That works too,
Swig
buddy.
from the bottle with your left hand, sir.
No.
No, right hand. He's lefty.
I do not like
Right
green eggs and
Oh
ham.
wait. Wait. He's hold
Yeah,
on.
he's a lefty.
So then I called the wrong buffalo.
You know
You
what
have
that
to buffalo.
means? That's a
Reverse
reverse
buffalo.
buffalo.
I am not
Dina,
right-handed.
chug your drink.
I thought that he was a righty.
Dina.
Oh no,
Oh,
I'm a
Dina, you
lefty.
gotta
No,
pay
we
attention.
specified that he's a lefty.
Yeah, you gotta finish that drink, kid.
It'd be a shame to kill you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Beautiful. This is just excellent. Dina's also little known fact. She
It's
can't
wine.
take shots and she can't chug.
Yeah, she can't really chug. So
Oh, what kind of wine?
It's going to be 3 to 7 hours before she's ready to
Pinot
interview.
Grigio Pastello?
Ooh, Pinot Grigio. I'm a fan.
The mini
a
bottle.
peanut
Grigio.
Grigio. A peanut Grigio.
Peanut Gargio.
What's next on the rundown? Because I'll be here a while.
It's your
I just
turn.
wanted to say, yeah. Well, see, that's why we need you, Dina, because guys, it's time. Connor, are you ready? Do you have some tissues prepared? Are you emotionally in a good place?
For multiple
No.
reasons.
Yeah. Well, so we're gonna ask you some deep personal questions. We're going to peel back the layers of the potato, and we're going to get to know the real you,
Uh-oh.
there, Connor. You
Let
know,
me get my hat on then.
Yeah.
This is the real Connor.
And there it is. There's our emo Connor.
You'll get to know the real me. No one knows the real me, not even me. Go ahead.
Darkness is my only friend.
I wish I had long hair. This would be amazing. Look at this complexion.
You look good bald. You're like one of the very rare people that looks good bald. You're fine. Relax.
I can
Jesus.
only
And now half
cosplay
of- now
bald
half of
anime
our-
characters.
Wigs
so
are
you're
a
One
thing,
Punch Man.
buddy.
I can. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait, I'm still trying this. Hold on.
Bring them on me. I'll answer whatever you need. It was the 4th grade. I'm not proud
Hold
of it.
on. We're gonna ask you some bald anime questions here.
Okay.
What? No, we're not. Hold on. We need
Krillin or
to.
Tien?
Krillin.
You son of a bitch.
I need to go back to the 4th grade. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you in the 4th grade?
Ooh.
You asked for this, buddy.
Yeah, you did. You set yourself up here.
Helicopters. No.
Back in 4th grade when I still had hair.
I don't recall at this moment, actually. I was just throwing something out there. I'm sorry to ruin the suspense like that.
Kicked yourself in
It's
the
okay,
ass
we'll
and
cut
come
it.
up with
Oh,
something?
probably, believe it or not, when I was called up to do the telephone game, and I did not want to do the telephone game because I was not comfortable with speaking in front of people. And then the teacher made me come up there. I started crying at my desk. She made me walk up there, and I stood up there and cried in front of everybody for about 3 minutes before she's like, "Okay, Connor, you can go back to your seat." I'm like, "You bet I can." Like, get on your desk. That's probably the story then. Probably that was about 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
It counts.
I like
Next question is, what is your prom aesthetic?
A nice my prom aesthetic.
Yes.
I like to be flashy and seen, so I would wear a white strapless dress
Makes sense.
with sequins
Good
on
choice.
it. Hopefully as backless as I can, but I know that's probably difficult. As my wife expressed, Connor, Iris can't wear this type of dress. They don't exist. She Google search. They do, but this is impractical. So that's what I would probably wear, or it may have some sleeves actually with like a cut across right here is about what I would probably do.
Okay,
Smart.
right, that's
Very
good,
smart.
that's
So, I mean,
good.
is Iris based on you then?
Yes. 100%.
It adds up. It does actually. Actually, it really does. Okay.
Damn, Dean.
I like Iris. Okay.
She's my favorite.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever stepped on with bare feet?
Ooh. Naked people.
Okay, this is the second person that has said a person. How do you
These are
people keep
people.
stepping on people?
People.
Yeah, this sounds like multiple people.
I
need to know more.
Listen, when you wake up first after an orgy, you got to step on some people.
Unfortunately, no, not an orgy, but growing in college, I don't drink around people. I don't drink out in groups. I drink alone when I do.
Same.
Oh, okay.
And I've always been the designated driver. You can always call me to come get you, yada, yada, yada. We used to throw parties at my house, and I would always be the one sober at 3 a.m. when they tell me the dark stories they don't want nobody else to know.
It's the best.
So stepping on people trying to go to the bathroom at 4 a.m. while they're asleep in the hall with their shirts off, and then you step on them and they squeal. You don't know what it is, and it scares you. That's probably the strangest thing I've ever really stepped on. And then, that's about, probably that. And then whatever's at the bottom of a lake.
Oh.
We don't need to talk
Yeah,
about
who
the bottom
knows?
of the legs.
Who knows? It's all squishy between your toes. You're
Probably
like, oh,
dead bodies
God.
decomposing down
Yeah,
there.
probably more naked bodies. Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, there was this one. What is the superior form of potato?
I don't. Oh, yeah. He's
The superior form of potato
She said the thing.
is now what you have to understand about the potato. It's about perspective. It's like art. Everybody has their different sides to it. So in one way or another, everyone is right. But then again, in one way or another, everybody's wrong. I would have to say my favorite form of
Connor,
potato.
I'm just going to stop you here real quick. We need hot takes only. This is take no prisoners. This isn't, we're trying to please people.
Oh,
You
okay,
need to
fine.
have your answer be right over everyone else.
Yeah, my wife's mashed potatoes because they're the best, and there's literally nobody else that can ever come close to them. I've ate a lot of things in my life, a lot of potatoes, and I've never had anything like them before, and neither have you, and I promise you that. Her garlic from scratch mashed potatoes are one of the many reasons I married her besides going into massive debt.
So
I
are
love
we
it.
invited to
Came in
Christmas
strong.
dinner, Connor?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
this your
what's
official
up?
invitation?
Sure, why not?
I'll be in Alabama around Christmas time, so.
Yeah, yo, come on up.
I've got nothing
makes
better to
me
do around
the
Christmas.
big
All right.
I'm
mixer.
on board.
It's like 10 pounds.
Make a double
Just
batch
tell-
of them mashed potatoes. All right.
All right,
This
tell her I'm
one-
going to bring my 190,000 word document and
Okay.
to whip up some mashed potatoes.
Yep.
And we'll be right over.
Yeah, that's
Oh
probably
my
about 80
God.
grand. Her, since now that she
Add it to the
has-
tab.
Now that she's
Put it on
built the
Connor's
resume,
tab.
she can beef up her prices now. I got the beginning level.
Yeah. Well, but you're my brother husband now, so like
Brother
I'm hoping to
husband.
get a
Family
discount
discount?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Family discount.
So-
try.
This one time that I was making mashed potatoes, I like to put a little bit of lemon pepper in my mashed potatoes. I accidentally opened up the wrong side of the seasoning tab,
Oh no!
and my mashed potatoes were legit yellow.
Call it yellow
Just straight
snow,
up
baby.
Dumped, yep.
Snow cone? They're lemon.
Next question, last question. Complete this sentence. You think that's weird? You should see my blank.
You think that's weird? You should see my snow globe.
Oh,
Go on.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
That's a no,
That's it.
sir.
If you
We're
want
is
leaving
there
it
a
at that.
penis in your
If
snow
you'd
globe?
like to, if you'd like to see more, please subscribe to my OnlyFans. Only $10.99 a month.
Snow globe OnlyFans.
That's all that I have. I'm done.
She's disgusting.
No, that's beautiful. Let's talk about your book, man.
Uh-oh.
So, again, for the folks at home that, are just tuning in, we have with us Connor Calloway. He's the author of Seasons, Carol of the Bells, and it is, I can honestly say I've never read anything like this, because you decided to make, the best way I can describe it is you've decided, how can I fill in the plot holes as to how Santa works and operates in a modern world, and an entire fantasy world sprawled out from it. How did this idea come about, and how did you get to this final point?
Okay. Get out your tissues. It's going to be kind of sad. You ready for this?
Okay.
All right. So I was going to college, failing in sciences because I grew up in Alabama where we're 50th in education, and I never took chemistry in high school. So when I was taking chemistry in college, I failed, and I was thinking about changing careers. So I did, and I switched to history. And in history, I started studying mythologies, anthropology, stuff like that. And just one Christmas, when I was feeling rather alone, I thought, I read a lot of fantasy books. The Wheel of Time, things like that. And I was like, nobody has really ever looked at Santa and made a concrete magic system for his world and what he does and how he does it. And I wrote a short story about his origins and how he's able to do what he's his bells, what they do, and everything else. And I took it to my mom, and I let her read it. And my mother read it and said, I was like, this is great. I'm going to post it on Facebook trying to, just because. And she goes, I think there's something more here, and you really should just see where it goes. So I took that idea, and I thought to myself, I was like, well, I don't want to write a story about, St. Nicholas per se. And I was like, so what if he had a son? So I went from there, and that's how I started building it. And I was building it because I wanted my mom to read it. Now, unfortunately, my mother was not able to read it. She's no longer with us at the moment. But that's what made me finish it. And I was trying to get it edited at the time and everything. I was looking for an editor at the time that she passed, but that was the primary reason where it came from and the motivations for it as well. That's actually why I dedicated it to her as well.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. And I mean, I can tell you that was one of my favorite things, was just how creative it was, because I'm definitely one of those guys that likes to try to, prod at the magic systems and how it works. And I'm just like, listen, all this is plausible, man. Stepping outside of time, and I love the music and everything that was involved in this.
Wow.
And that was one of the coolest things for me, is how you built out this magic system based on the sound. So kind of talk me through how you started building out the magic.
I can't, there will be a RAFO, which is, read and find out later. I can't go full in depth into it, but how I started building it was essentially the first question. How is it that St. Nicholas can deliver all these presents? And the only thing that made sense to me is that he is able to stop time. And I thought, how does he do that? Does he do it on the whim, or is it something more powerful? And that's where I got the idea for the bells. My favorite Christmas book, can you guess it? 10 points if you can guess it.
Dina, you're the one that knows all the Christmas books. Favorite Christmas book of his, what do you think?
Polar Express?
Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna move my camera.
Yes!
I'm gonna move my camera. Up there is the Polar Express right there.
Let's go!
Yes!
Nailed it.
I literally
Nice.
was thinking that the whole time I was reading it. I was
And
like, this dude knows that book.
I do. That was my favorite Christmas book growing up. And not just the movie. I like the movie. I know people hate it because it freaks them out. I don't pay attention to the movie. I just like to let it run in the background. Plus, I love Tom Hanks. And
Fair enough.
so I saw the bell
Same.
one night, and I was like, that's it. The bell is
Yeah.
what does it.
That's amazing.
So that's where that
amazing.
came from.
So, I mean, it's kind of along the same lines, but I wanted to know what made somebody go, Santa and vampires, these go together.
Well, as you read inside, there's a plot against the King of the North Pole. So I thought, what would be the plot? What would be the connections? As you see the creatures that they fight in the very beginning. And I don't know, because if I started with St. Nicholas, it obviously went, what about the rest of them? What about Halloween? What about Easter? What about the summer festivities? What about them? I've got to do that. And that's where those ideas went. This is actually, if you ever break into my house and want to know what happens in the futures, it's all in this notebook. And it's just chock full of all of my characters and everything that I worked on when I was writing this out.
Yeah. I mean, we're already gonna be here for Christmas, so
somewhere in this house.
That'll be the Christmas fine.
Oh God, it chopped off my hand. This isn't pretty.
So speaking of the characters, because I'm always big into character driven. You got a lot of distinct people that Cole picks up along the way.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of a cool thing that you did is you really mixed not only mythology but fantasy with a little bit of modern. We got Wilhelmina and her mech, knight armor, and my boy Lloyd over there. So I mean, I guess talk me through like how the characters started getting created in your mind and how you kind of decided you wanted to make them interact with your established North Pole magic.
So I definitely wanted Cole to leave the North Pole and come to our world. And the city, of course, and the little town that they go to are based off of the city I grew up in, which is Montgomery, and Wetumpka, which is the two areas that I don't live there anymore. But those are two areas that I grew up in, so I based it off that without naming them. And when I was going along, I honestly don't really know where first Iris and Harvest came from. I had some people that I went to college with that I was close with, and we still talk and such, that they're loosely based off of. But they just kind of manifested, honestly, and not all the concrete world building was done when I was working on this book. This was a hobby. I did not expect to publish this. This was something I did at 2 a.m. on Saturdays when I couldn't sleep. This is what I did. And they just kind of like manifested. And I was like, what? Harvest. I was like, what can he do? And I was like, where is he from? And if you haven't picked up on the theme of my characters yet, I don't really want to spoil it. But they basically came just from different realms of magic based on the different seasons. That's the best way I can say it without spoiling anything. I don't want to spoil anything for what comes in, my future projects and stuff like that. But yeah, Iris is by far probably my favorite to write besides my main character for multiple reasons. But that
Justice for Lloyd, excuse me.
I love Lloyd too. That's
Okay.
he's the crazy one. Somebody's gonna be who gave him a gun? Who gave that man a gun? That's what
I do love
Lloyd
that he's
was
the
relatable.
only one. The craziest character in your group is the only one with a firearm.
bang. And he believes in it.
Yeah, he does. All right. So quick question based off the name, because I just want to go off of that. I have a theory, and I don't know if I'm just putting together pieces that aren't there, but the names of your characters, is there relationships on how you came up with the names for the characters? Is there specific reasons?
Yes, there are a few of them. Believe it or not, Willa was a completely different character that I rewrote in there. I changed her name and a few other things that were very important for me to change. Then Harvest, especially, you can tell where that name probably came from. And then Iris as well. They're all clues. I don't know how much I want to give away. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find.
No. Don't give anything away. No, you're fine. You're fine.
All
no
definitely
spoilers.
clues.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But you kind of see the themes with their connections. Their names are. I'm very strong on names. Names are very powerful. Not to pull from anybody else that's written anything famous and that they haven't finished the series yet. But names are very powerful, and that's why I have them specifically selected for Iris and for Harvest and for Lloyd and for Wilhelmina as well.
For Dina and Sean, that's a Patrick Rothfuss reference.
I didn't want to say his name out loud unless he puts another year.
Oh, don't do it. I just saw a blog post where he's giving people sneak peeks of the. We're just not going to talk about it. Okay, we're not going to
jinx it, Daniel. You already did it too late.
Look, Pat was going through things, and I respect that as a writer, and you're all writers, and you should as well. We all know how it is.
Yeah,
that kid's crushing.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, no, I agree. But sorry, go on, Dina.
No, I just want to address something because Daniel, you're a sneaky little bitch, and you absolutely knew that the names I had fixated on because I did that with John Ortega's episode, and you knew I was going to ask Connor about these names, and you patted that. You're a bitch.
I just wanted to see if it was a Lloyd Christmas reference, is what I was trying to get to.
No,
I hate you,
Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
No,
Yes.
it was not. No. Lloyd has no connection to Christmas whatsoever. He's full of too much life.
I get where you're going now, but all right, Dina, do you have another question since I stole yours?
Did you ever struggle with like coming?
Go ahead.
That's what she said.
I'm sorry.
That's that eggnog again.
Okay.
Dina, don't start talking until you've thought it through, okay?
No, I just realized that I used the wrong word. Did you ever struggle with having to overcome, that's the word that I was looking for, other Santa folklore when you were writing this? Like, did any of it influence what you did? Were you thinking of like the Santa Claus movies or Elf and going, I don't want to fall into those stereotypical entrapments?
That's what pushed me to create this book because no one's ever done it. No one's ever went this magic hard system, fighting hard system. The only thing that gave me a scare was Guardians, Rise of the Guardians, which is, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's a movie about Jack Frost. That one really scared me because I was writing this when that came out and it really shot me. I love the movie, but I was watching it and I was like, okay, my book's nothing like this, except Santa has a sword and a few other things. But that's why I got home
because this is.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say for this is non-spoilers because that was one of my favorite things. Is what did you name Santa's sword?
Jolly.
Jolly.
Yeah. But
jolly old Saint Nick, baby.
Exactly. He pulled out his sword, Jolly. I thought it was very fitting, especially.
No, it's incredible.
It made me chuckle.
Yeah, considering who made it for him as well. No spoilers there. But yeah, anyways, when that one came out, and then some other times I was like, nobody's gonna like this. There's people out there that follow a certain fate that look for nothing but hatred in the world, and they're going to immediately find me and just drill into me about how you destroyed Christmas. Which, bring it on now. My mentality is I definitely don't care if you do that. But that was my major fear when I was writing it, thinking about publishing it. I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere. I'm going to get thrown up against the wall and destroyed. And then somebody told me, he's like, any attention's good attention when it comes to this kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. So we did.
Yeah.
Hey, we got your back, buddy. We'll go down the ship with you.
I'll
all right.
go to war for this book. This is a good book.
Oh, thank you. And you're really tickling my heart. I suffer with
tickling my heart.
Tickling my heart.
Connor, it's time for you. It's time for you to tickle the hearts of all the fans out there. Why don't you read us a little excerpt from your book?
Okay. All right. Cole, no. Hold on. Okay. All right, let me see here. With all three attackers outside, the savior turned back to the innkeeper, his smile gone and replaced by a hard look and a voice that demanded attention. Take care of him. He's not dead, but he does need the hospital. The rest of you. He looked around at the silent guest. Wait 5 minutes, then get home. With this last command, he turned to leave. Borean's wife spoke up right before he exited the door. Wait! You saved our lives. The young man turned back and said, Not yet, but I will. What's your name? Borean at least wanted to know the name of the man who had just given him and his wife a gift they could never repay. The young man turned his head and smiled before telling them, Cole. And with that, he vanished into the winter night. Cole stepped from the inn and searched the ground. The hooded figures were no longer there, and he wanted to catch them for questioning. He searched the ground and found footprints different from the others around him. Bare feet, not shoed. Cole determined their path and sped left after them. The road was illuminated by street lamps, light from the surrounding buildings, and the light from the full moon. The trail Cole was following turned down an alley, then back up the adjacent street. He continued this pattern of street hopping until he went down another lane where the footprints ended. Looking around, he saw no more trace of the creatures. Snow fell in front of him, and Cole instantly turned his gaze to the roofs of the building to either side of him. A dark figure jerked back at his gaze. A dark figure jerked back at his gaze and shuffled faintly backwards. The buildings were 3 stories high, but Cole bent his legs and pushed from the ground, leaping into the air. He then shoved off of the window on the 2nd floor before rolling onto the roof. Back on his feet, he sprinted for the 3 attackers, glad to be gaining them. Their speed was unnatural, but so was Cole's, as his hood fell from his head. Gap after gap he leapt, but he was not gaining on them fast enough. If he didn't do something soon, they would hit the end of the building, leap out into the city wall, and disappear into the tundra. Thinking to himself, Cole reached into a case attached to his belt. Grabbing the silvery object in his hands, Cole waited until he felt he was close enough and shook it once. The 3 offenders came to a stop as the tiny bell tolled. The shadows in the hoods looked up at Cole, who now stood in front of him. A hiss started and the brown robe slid off the 3 beings. Cole was slightly surprised to find humans standing in front of him. But the flesh of these humans appeared to be rotting. Festers and boils covered them entirely, and the red and blacks of their skin barely stood out in the moonlight. The exposed bone did, appearing randomly on their bodies from what looked like bite marks. The greenish weapons from earlier must have fallen with the rose because only rags hung from exposed bone. Their eyes were bright yellow, and their posture was slouched as they cracked their fingers. So tell me, Cole locked his eyes on the middle one, assuming him to be the leader. What are ghouls doing in this far north? The rotting flesh gave him all the clues he needed to know what they were from the brief description he had read in one of his books. We do not answer to you, son of winter, the one on the left spat out. Oh? Then who do you answer to? Cole said, raising his eyebrows. The 3 of them answered, one after the other, speaking quickly. He will have you all. The stench is placed. All would be broken. Decisions make one to save a few or all or none. What do you mean? Cole reached to his belt and pulled his sword. Stop speaking in riddles and answer me. The 3 of them looked at the sword and smiled at its wielding. Before Cole could stop them, they turned towards one another and began to attack. Limbs came away with a ripping noise and teeth sank into flesh. Stop! Cole demanded. But it was no effect as the ghouls destroyed each other, laughing their way to the grave.
Yeah.
Thank you, small invisible children. Yeah,
we love our small invisible
children.
Our ghost children audience.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about what it was like writing a holiday-themed book while still keeping the mood that you had established within your writing style, your novel, things like that.
I wrote a lot of this book during the summer, the spring. It took 5 years off and on. So to be honest with you, I would go 3 or 4 months at a time, 6 months at a time, and not even work on it. And other times, the obsession would just take over me, and the spirit would, consume me, and I would just sprint away at it. It wasn't so hard just stay in the mindset, especially once it started solidifying where I wanted to go with it. And then I just, in a notebook, I wrote out, like I would write this story in class. Like I even had like a spiral notebook for left-handed people, and I would write dialogue and everything. I would record my classes on my phone so I can listen to them later and take notes, because that's how I did it. And I would sit there and just write the book while I was in class. So I guess that's the best way to answer that question. How did I stay in? I listened to a lot of chill hop before lo-fi became a thing. I was one of the first people that found lo-fi. Not to sound like a hipster, but I was.
I was into it before it was cool.
Yeah, I was. And also a third of this book is written in a Starbucks as well. So that probably also helps, because we're all writers. We end up in the coffee shop. We can't help it. We're drawn there like flies to garbage. So
yeah, I have missed that, like going to coffee shops. And I used to write at libraries too. I did that too. A lot.
Yeah. I actually went to the spot after I graduated. We went by my school, and I went in the library right to where I used to, and did some notebooking and outlining for the next book.
I love it. So all right, I'm going to ask one more quick question, then we're going to get to our off the wall ones.
Okay.
I think that, kind of piggybacking off what Dina was saying, I noticed you took a lot of time and a lot of attention to the details of the environments that everyone was around. So, like when we were in the North Pole, we saw the Aurora Borealis. We felt the cozy, hot chocolate and just all of that. When we were in the South, we were there. And, just interesting things like how, Cole had never seen rain before. And so you were always just so aware of describing where the setting was. I mean, was that a big, something that you set out doing, something important to the story, or just where your mind goes? You're
giving me the warm and fuzzies because I've had a lot of people tell me that I describe too much. Taking a lot from Robert Jordan as basically my mentor when it comes to describing. He describes a lot. I don't know if y'all have ever read The Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
But what a pretty dog. And
they're the least trainable breed of all. Second least trainable
Don't
breed
ever get a
ever.
Basenji PSA. Thank you.
I don't know. Just a lot of self-reflection when I went to it. I just can put myself there where he was and who he is. And that's just something I've always been able to do since as a child. I've always been told, Connor, it's time to grow up. Your imagination's not going to get you anywhere kind of thing. I have been told that before. And I was just like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I grew up a lot with imaginary friends, so I had to make sure I kept them for a while. And then they were like, you need to go get help. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to write a novel. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh my God,
put them in a book. Yeah, it's fine.
But pay attention to the detail, especially food. I always found food to be very important. That's why I write about it. So,
Yo, I was reading it yesterday, I think it was, and it was talking about turkey sandwich or something. And I was like, okay. When is the sequel gonna come out, Connor?
March, probably towards the end of March. It was supposed to come out this year, but I'm redoing the cover. I had to redo it because my other artist was unable to continue. So I'm redoing the cover. And what am I trying to say? And COVID got in the way. The pandemic gets in the way in a lot of things. So that's why it's been put off until about now. And I should have the new cover out. But that's 3 years since the first book came out. I promise the third sequel will be out possibly the following summer of 2023. Because I want to make sure I'm putting out a book at least once a year for my readers. Because if you take a chance in me, I'm going to be dedicated to you. That's basically my mentality about it.
And we're not going to jinx it, guys. We're not going to jinx it.
No jinx. I'll get it out.
I just want to say, I was thinking about it earlier this afternoon, I think it was. And this world, for listeners that we have, this world is one of those rare worlds that you can get into that I could totally see cosplays for this at Comic-Con and stuff.
Oh, I'd cry.
It is an incredibly well-built world. And I can't wait to see more because there was so much attention to detail and character development and everything. It was really good to watch, or not to watch, to read. And I really like to get into it. You did good.
No.
I'll put it to you this way. I don't know if it's just because it's winter now and it's cold, but every time that we were in the North Pole and he's at an inn or at a diner, and I'm just like, I want to go there. That seems really cozy and nice. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Dina. It's now that we've got the niceties out of the way, it's time to hit him with the hard hitting off the wall questions. Jump on the spot, Dina. What do you got?
Bring it on.
Gnome versus a vampire from your world. Which would win?
A gnome versus a vampire from my world?
Yeah.
Probably the vampire. It depends. If the gnome's magical, it has a fight. But if not, the vampire is going to chuck it through a wall like a football.
We're going to say that the gnome is magical.
Oh, it's a magical gnome? It's probably going to win, especially if it can do a teleporting thing. Then it'll just... No? What?
No, sir.
No, Daniel doesn't like gnomes. No. He has no say. Sean, can you mute him for me?
It just all depends on the magic. Like I said, it's still the capability of throwing into the side of a wall is very possible. Or teleporting inside the vampire and start pulling at organs that don't really work anymore,
Exactly.
Son of a
I think
it's Mr. Incredible punching himself.
A total chance.
I mean, the robot punching itself to get Mr. Incredible out of it. That's what it would be like. That's probably the scene.
This just went on an emotional roller coaster. I was so excited to hear you graphically describe the death of a gnome, and now it's in their guts and killing them, and this is bullshit. Cut it all, Sean. We're done.
Yep, we're done here.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Well, just for that, Dina, I'm going to bring back a question that maybe some people didn't see, but All right, Connor, you ready for this?
Mhm.
We're gonna go marry, fuck, kill. You gotta pick. I'm gonna give you 3 people. You have to
Okay.
choose to either marry them. You can only
Okay.
pick one for each of them.
Right.
Either marry them,
Mhm.
fuck them, or
Mhm.
kill them.
Okay.
This will your answers will determine whether or not you come on for the book too. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Just kidding.
So we have your 3 options are Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. Yep, hold on. We will go with one of the ghouls from your universe, just rotted ghoul flesh, yeah. And Jar Jar Binks. Marry, fuck, kill, bud.
All right, I would kill the ghoul.
Okay.
There's nothing can be done with that. It's
Yep.
just, it's done. It's done.
Yeah,
Oh,
can't go with the rotting flesh, yep.
I would. The second death could happen. We're not done there yet. I guess. Oh God, I would.
Say it.
I would fuck Umbridge.
Yes!
It would be a hate fuck. There will be choking involved.
As long as there's consent.
Okay. She isn't big on consent. It'll be her thing, I guess. Yeah, you shouldn't tell lies.
It's a turn on for her.
That's a turn on for her.
And then I would marry Jar Jar. And why? I fight for Jar Jar in the first movie. Sean's already turned off my camera.
Nope. This is the best possible timeline. This is incredible. You are redeemed.
I like Jar Jar's personality, and I'm married to a supercomputer,
too.
So it might be nice to have somebody that's like, oh yes, dear, that's mayonnaise. That's what that is. Put that down. My wife's a lot smarter than me.
Yep. Oh, listen, this is my brother husband, man. I'm so excited. We are now on the same wavelength because I'm 100% pro Team Jar Jar. So I'm glad to hear this.
Okay.
I don't want to collect guests anymore.
Oh
yeah, no, Team Jar Jar.
I hate it here.
Here on the island of misfit toys. I'm used to it.
All right, guys, it's time for a very special holiday themed Cringey Copulation, and normally I find these online or off of websites, but this one is a gift that keeps on giving because I actually purchased this book specifically to find a reading from it just for you.
He's finally invested in the show, you guys.
Yep, spent a whole $1. $1 whole. Yeah. So, Connor, you're going to check the DMs. Don't read ahead. And you got to get up close to that mic. You got to seduce us.
You got to do that whisper thing you did earlier.
Yeah.
Before I get started, I need to also say my wife sent me a message. She says, I don't know what I hear you promising brother husbands or whatever in there, but remember, I don't like odd numbers. So, unfortunately,
we'll find it less well.
In my head, I was about to be like,
baby.
Yeah, this just turned into a foursome.
I was about to be like, oh, I'll be there, but Daniel's there, so I won't.
All right.
Sorry, Dina. Yeah, no, it's fine, Dina.
So, this spicy writing that I'm not even looking at, I gotta
Twitter
read.
DMs, baby.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, you're ready, buddy. We're waiting on you. Tell us the title of the book. Tell us the title of the book and the author, and get it going.
I hope everyone's ready out there for these frosty lips to tell you what's really coming through. I cannot read this person's name. No.
Orly Verge.
Arlie Verge. Snowballing. I fucked Frosty. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I rose from my knees and slowly impaled myself on his cold member, worrying simultaneously about that scene in A Christmas Story and how I would explain myself at an emergency room if this broke off inside of me. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
But miraculously, it held, and I slid smoothly down until he was rammed all the way inside me. I thought I was going to pass out. It was such a strange sensation. So cold, but the friction was unbelievably satisfying.
Friction, baby, yeah.
As my juices mingled with the snow of his cock, It created an icy sheen that slid effortlessly into my. I can't say this word.
Come on, buddy, you can do it.
Oh no, is it the C word? You can skip the C word.
Well, I'm going to say ass because I was visualizing a man with this. It created an icy. I was getting in character. It creating an icy sheen that slid effortlessly into my ass, numbing me pleasantly despite the heat at my center.
Oh, that heat, baby.
I slid myself up and down on him, losing myself in the sensation and banging down on him like a man possessed. Oh, God. Give me that South Pole. I cried in abandonment. I was about to say abominablement because it fits.
It does.
The snowman said nothing. He just continued to accept my energetic lovemaking. It was weird, too. Ellipses. I'm creeped out even more by snowman.
It was okay. Wait. As a woman.
As a woman.
Number one, as a woman.
As a woman. What?
Give me
Okay,
that
I have a
cell
question.
phone, baby.
Can I ask a question?
I know.
Who built
No
the
eye contact.
snowman? And is it like a magical snowman that like Frosty actually is? And did someone craft a snowy cock on this snowman, or did it come to life via magic?
So having
grow a
read the
cock.
entire book, I can answer
The
those questions for
entire
you.
book.
You read that? You bought it today.
Yeah, it's literally like 5 pages, guys.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
like they get to the magic. Okay.
Yeah. And so basically her and her loser boyfriend that was totally not pleasing her tried to like bang next to the snowman that they built. And after an unsatisfying finish, and he went inside to go get some tuna casserole, she dejectedly put a hat on him and he came to life. He has Oreo eyes. I thought that was also important.
Oh, okay. I didn't read that
Yeah.
there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Zoe will be into the snowman, is what you're trying to say.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness me.
100%.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, and listen, there's another great scene from this, but Sean told me I wasn't allowed to make you do 2. So
Yeah, we're gonna save that one for next Christmas.
Okay. I'll be back.
So Dina,
What
how
is
do you
it,
feel?
Dina?
I kind of want to go up to Alabama in January, like when it's really, really snowing, and I'm just gonna make a snowman with a penis as a joke, and I'm gonna put it
Yeah.
on the podcast Twitter. Because
As you should.
holy
And
fuck.
Why not?
Someone
If you
might
ever
fuck
find
it.
snow
Who
in
knows?
Alabama, good luck. If you find it, let me know.
It snowed
I
in
mean-
Alabama where my family is last year.
They live in Huntsville.
Close, yeah. They're like
Yeah.
30, 40 minutes away, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad especially because Frosty the Snowman plays such a pivotal role in your book. I really felt good about the
Yeah, I was envisioning that too.
yeah. So that's
Frosty
how
sabbaticals.
Frosty. Yeah, this is how Frosty repopulated the snowman population.
How
I
he
hate
found
that this
himself.
poor woman was like literally fucking a snowman.
Yeah, listen. I mean,
Wouldn't
she
it
really liked
melt?
it though.
That's why I switched it to a man.
Yeah, so there we go. We gender swapped this.
Yeah.
So,
Why not?
yeah. There's literally a naked woman on the cover of this. So, all right, guys. Now that we are all sufficiently in the Christmas spirit, it is time to bring back
Ho,
a
ho,
very
ho.
proud. Well, hey, no hoes here. No hoe shaming. It's time to bring back a very proud tradition that we ask all of our guests. So, Connor, here's what you're going to get to do. We're going to give you 1 second to pitch your book to all the folks at home. Yeah,
Okay.
1 second.
All right.
And then afterwards, we'll give you like a full pitch. You can give them the full elevator pitch and why they should buy your book. But, treat it like a good Frosty-gasm, all right?
Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going to count you in. 3, 2, 1.
Santa stab.
Santa stab! Yes. That's
That's
selling.
good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
No, that's. Yeah, listen, if you've ever wanted to see Santa go ham, I'm not saying it happens in this book. I'm just not saying it doesn't happen in this book.
He learned it from somebody.
It's true. It's very, very true. All right, so give the folks at home the full pitch. Why should they read your book? What's it about? Give us the full elevator pitch here.
I've actually been working on the elevator pitch for this.
Ooh.
I've said numerous things. It always depends on who I'm in front of. My main one is if you're looking for the magic you once felt as a child around Christmas time and you're having a hard time finding it, I wrote this book for you. It's full of adventure, monsters, mystery, and of course the forces of good against the forces of darkness. Other words I've told people, 2 heroines have 3 bumbling idiots that are somewhat effective, and together they figure out a way to save Christmas. That's usually my best pitch for it. I would definitely say we've talked enough about it throughout this channel. I would definitely say that it's that's about all I could definitely say about it without giving away too much more.
No, that's awesome, man. I love it. I can't even say words. We support it here. Awesome book. Can't recommend it enough. It is a perfect holiday fantasy book to scratch that itch, man.
Yeah.
Dina, what was your thoughts on it? Give us your final takeaways on the book.
No, I think you said it. Like, it is. I have never read anything like this, and it was the perfect book for the holidays because I love fantasy, and the only things that you ever find about the holidays are romance, and I'm just not a romance
it's all
reader.
Romance.
It really is. So I
Shout out
really did
Shannon.
appreciate this. Shout out Shannon. So I did appreciate like the world building and the fact that you made this a fantasy book. We can talk off air about the relationships, but I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, the ships.
I made sure there was the beginning of ships. Maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely some.
Just the beginning,
just like
though,
Lloyd and Wilhelmina. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I did appreciate that it was a fantasy for. It was a Christmas fantasy for fantasy readers.
Perfect. And before we get out of here, because you are also the co-host of a little podcast, a little D&D podcast with your wife. Why don't you give us a little, tell us a little bit about it and where folks can find your podcast?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So fine. So I'm huge into Dungeons and Dragons. And then I got my wife into it. We've been playing together. It came about once COVID hit and we couldn't play table D&D anymore. I'd actually saved up a lot of money and built one of those fancy D&D tables with the TV in it and everything. But yeah, no, I had to get rid of it because of moving and also because of pandemic related stuff. But anyways, I play online with my friends. My wife was like, I really miss playing in person. She goes, could you just run a one shot for me for my birthday? And I was like, no, I think I'll do you one better. So I created an entire homebrew for my wife to play in. And we play one-on-one with each other. I'm the DM. She plays her bard that she has. And the two of us tell a story within the world of Cathedra as the Bountiful Bards. That's what we call ourselves. And you can find it on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and also Google Podcasts as well. And we just take about 30 to 40 minutes, short little episodes of, telling a story of her playing her character. And that's the gist of it. It's been really a lot of fun. We put out an episode every other week because of time constraints with our lives. But hopefully we hope to do it weekly. But that's basically it. We have a really good time. It's all from scratch. Not many people can say, "Hey, I built an entire universe world from my spouse," which I did.
That is pretty romantic. Hey, listen, this is up in the game,
cute.
man.
Yeah. That's very cute.
Can I recommend one of my favorite homebrew items just because I want it to come from me?
Sure.
All right. Glove of finger guns. You put it on. They give a little finger guns. Shoot like a little, 1d5 damage, 1d4 damage.
Pew pew.
Exactly. That's actually a part of it. You have to say pew pew when
pew
doing
pew
it.
is required.
She might find that item and it's just a one-time use and then it disintegrates. Here,
I would support it.
That's wonderful.
The cringe in the room
Get rid of
makes
that.
the item disintegrate.
This is a game breaker. This is the cursed relic.
I love it. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing this. We're definitely going to want to have to check out your next book when it comes out in March, man. And if we ever, get off our asses and get the D&D family or don't make a weird family D&D game going, man, we're going to have to bring you and your wife on for it. All right.
Have to do it one shot. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. So guys, again, check out Seasons. Carol of the Bells out now on Amazon. Check out the Bountiful Bard podcast. And guys, this has been a pleasure, man. I'm pumped up. I've been one of your hosts, Daniel Quigley. You can find me on Twitter at DanQ. Right Sping. That's DanQ.
It's
right
dank.
Sping. It's not dank. It's not dance. You told me it's not dank. Connor, you told me it's not dank.
I had a hard time finding it earlier when I was tweeting out about you.
But
I eventually found it, though.
Damn it. And Dina, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dinosaurus D. That's D like D's nuts.
And Connor, where can the folks find you?
I am just Connor. So just Connor, like spelled like this. It's backwards.
Kahner for the listeners.
That's actually my real name. No English teacher ever got it right except for my wife. So that's me. That's where you can find me.
There you go. And producer Sean, where can the folks find you?
I got a bunch of wings waiting for me, so I'm about to destroy some chicken.
How hot are we going, man? How hot?
Actually, not a sponsor, but we got them from Wingstop, and they have this new, like, orange mandarin glaze thing happening that I'm going to try. And I always go with the dry, lemon pepper dry is also another one I get all the time, so...
All right, well, guys, it's been another incredible episode of the Don't Make It Weird podcast. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We freaking love you guys. Thank you for being here for the holidays with us. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the other stuff that you guys want to do. We'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas, guys. Jazz hands.
Don't Make It Weird, hosted by Daniel Quigley and Dinosaurus. Produced and edited by me, Sean Holden. Theme song by Amaria. A very special Christmas thank you to our guest this week, Kahner C. Calloway. You can find his novel, Seasons, Carol of the Bells, on Amazon. Link in the description. His Dungeons & Dragons show, The Bountiful Bards, can be found wherever you download your favorite podcasts. And a quick shout out to the year 2021. You've been kind of shitty, but it's also the birth year of this show, so it'll always have a special place in our hearts. Merry Christmas, weirdos, and a Happy New Year to you all. We'll see you again in 2022.